This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
Hey everybody, WFO. What's going on as we get ready for the start of racing season? Hey everybody, I'm Joe Castello along with Giovanni in Miami. WFO Ignition is back, starting off another week, following up the Super Bowl here in Miami. Super Bowl LIV is in the books. Kansas City and the Chiefs are now Super Bowl champions for the first time in 50 years in what was I found it to be a very exciting game. It was a good game. It was a great game for entertainment value. And we'll dive into some of that stuff and then get ready for NHRA drag racing at the 60th Lucas Oil Winter Nationals. Then the Busch Clash and the Daytona 500 and then NHRA Arizona. And just like that, we'll be at the Auto Club Finals. And the final race of the year will not be at Homestead Miami Speedway. And the season will be over, and it'll be Black Friday. It'll be a big blur. What's up, Giovanni? How you doing?
All is well.
I just gave everybody a little stress right there.
Yeah, I see that.
But that's how the season works. It's like a blur. It's like a blur.
You've already got it ending.
Oh, yeah. Tax time is coming, and the pressure and the stress, and then all of that, and then the Western Swing, and then the countdown. No, we're going to try to slow it down. We're going to have a good time. I know that there are a lot of people going to be headed out to the Lucas Oil Winter Nationals this weekend, Pomona, California, Auto Club Raceway, and I am fired up. Rolex 24 a couple weeks back in the books, and now it is NHRA going to jump on and be the first racing series with actual eliminations, a points race that counts following football season. I think that every one of us, NHRA fans, racing fans, but NHRA fans in general, specifically, should go out of their way to wear their gear. Remember those NASCAR Day initiatives?
Yeah.
Wear your gear. Like, hey, fans, wear your gear. Spirit stuff, like in high school. Spirit Day. Team days, like Miami Heat, wear white. I think everybody should be rocking their NHRA gear all week this week. Favorite drivers. Get your friends to ask you, what is that blue oval? What is that oval? What is NHRA? And, it's tough at the start of the season getting geared up, but you got to get geared up. So we're going to get into that. We'll talk a little bit about that. The rumor mill. Am I saying that appropriately? Like dramatic read. Have you prepared your dramatic read? I thought we were going to do that this week. I do not have anything prepared. I'm sure I can find something around here for the first of the dramatic reads, because I said I would go first. Maybe we'll push it back to next week. Or maybe I'll go. I'll just find something around here. But anyway, the rumor mill, like right now, if you go to the entry lists, Scrappers Racing has announced already that they are not going to be participating in the first several races and that they will be starting their season at Houston. That's number one.
Houston.
The Spring Nationals. Houston Raceway Park presented by Pennzoil. And part two, the Capco team, not on the entry list. Steve Torrance, the champ, not yet on the entry list for the Lucas Oil Winter Nationals. What does it all mean? This is one of those deals where, I'm not a breaking news person. I'm just like looking at the rumor mill. Bobby Bennett's got it on his rumor site. I'm hearing rumors all day. Rumors. Like Fleetwood Mac. And people are wondering, like, what's going to happen? And we'll just have to wait and see. Again, WFO, not breaking news, not chasing news stories, just following along, watching. Eager to see how it all plays out. But there's some interesting stuff. And we'll cover a lot of it on NHRA podcast in that we've got Alan Reinhart, we've got Sean Langdon, and we got Fernando Quadra, and J.R. Todd, and maybe a couple of others, maybe not. Apparently, the Frank Aragona Competition Eliminator World Champ interview did not make it to the air. I did the interview, but for whatever reason, it didn't make it to the air. So that's all.
MIA?
MIA.
Or it could just be like the Lost Tracks?
The Lost Tracks. It's the season in hell. It's the WFO Radio season in hell, which is a reference to Eddie and the Cruisers, for those that don't get it. Season in Hell was the album that they recorded, but it was too far ahead of their time. Oh, you know Eddie and the Cruisers? That's fine. You got the Eddie and the Cruisers reference? I don't think so. But if you did, good on you. So before we get into the whole Super Bowl wrap, transition to race week, I got a couple of things, like biz, that I want to put out there. Number one, the WFO Radio Fantasy League, to get your name on that trophy, right over there, along with Mr. Fantasy NASCAR. Nobody has reached out to me to say that they were able to get into the league like last year. I asked for people to reach out if you want to be in the WFO Radio Fantasy League this year and contend and compete and battle against the greats and hopefully get your name on the trophy. It's drivergroupgame.com. It's WFO Radio 2019 and password WFO Radio 2019, or excuse me, WFO 2019. Nobody has reached out. Are you in? I'm under the impression everybody is just in. And if you're a new player and you want to play, you go to drivergroupgame.com. You put in WFO Radio 2019 as the league name, and the password is capital WFO 2019, and you should be in. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, 2019, it's not 2019 anymore. We are leaving the password the same in the interest of simplicity. If you want to be in our fantasy league, which is big fun and a big challenge, this is what you need to do. And please reach out to us, Joe or Gio, and say, yeah, I was able to get in the league, or I got a friend of mine in the league, and now there's no limitation. We could have 1 million people in our league. Normally it's starts out about 80 or 90 and then winnows down to about 60 that are still playing, which, whatever. It's fine. Like, once upon a time, I would have tried to guilt you guys into, like, playing the whole season. I get it. Life's tough. You start out slow. You're going to quit. That's fine. But the WFO Radio Fantasy League, the greatest of the great, compete in this league, and their names are on that trophy, which is a piece of artwork that will be around for millennium. Like, literally, that thing is going to outlast all of us.
Wow. Unfortunately, you are correct.
It is. It's going to outlast all of us. Had the big birthday celebration since the last time we were together.
Oh, wow. Almost forgot about that.
It's old news now.
That's it.
It's like as soon as it happens, it's off the desk.
That's it.
Thursday, thank you very much. Thursday was my birthday. I had a great time. What did I do? I did my taxes. I locked myself in my home, and I did my taxes from morning to night. Got up, gone to the gym. Everybody knows I'm doing the keto. I'm having great success, although I did backslide this past weekend. Not as much as I might have. That's the thing. I just ate cheese, and I ate meat, and I was good. I had one, Corona Premier, and I feel like I'm still good. But on a normal Super Bowl weekend, it would have been terrible. Chips and whatever. So we'll see how that all goes. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about is me doing the taxes. And I feel like I got that done. I've got it off the desk and then forgot about it. Giovanni's birthday was on Saturday.
It was.
And we went to Top Golf.
We did.
Top Golf, great stuff.
Much fun.
One of my favorite places, honestly. I think that they have done such a great job of combining the bowling alley experience with the driving range experience. Like, I love golf and I love going to the driving range, but it's really kind of impossible to bring other people into that. People who can't play golf. You can't go out on a golf course if you don't know how to play golf. Like, if you really stink, right, on ice, you'll embarrass yourself. Players who are serious players, they're coming up from behind. They want to play through. They're annoyed. You're losing balls left and right. Top Golf. Wow, ingenious product, man. So much fun. You can spend a lot of money there, though.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
And Gio and I were locked in a battle in the first game, and I was victorious, and he was defeated. He finished second. No, I was really trying to win that game. Because the first time we went there as a group, I didn't win a game. I was struggling with my swing. So this time I was like, I got to win something because I can be competitive. And I did. I put a nice 4-iron into the big the big hole that was furthest away. And that was it. I got like 20 points or something. Kind of didn't do very well after that. But it was a good time. It was fun. Now, before we get into our Super Bowl wrap and the talk of the commercials, there was one commercial that just drove me nuts. I hated it. Well, don't say what you think it is. Let's compare our notes.
One I hated is what I was thinking.
I got one that it bothered me. It was a bothering, like it wasn't, it was a negative. And then I wake up this morning to see some of the wrap-up shows, and a lot of people liked it. It was a favorite. It was a favorite, and I hated it. It bothered me. It made me upset to my core, to the fabric of my personality, the marrow of my bones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Vitriol. I'm against it.
Yeah.
But before I tell you what I'm against, I'm going to tell you what I'm for, and the great sponsors of WFO Radio, like Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School and the Dragster Adventure, 866-480-7223. I hope you use this year. Things are going so well. You should do something for yourself. You should go to the Dragster Adventure, frankhawley.com, and race and get in a dragster and drive it and have fun.
Do it now.
Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. All the young people out there, and you parents, you got a kid, like what do you want your kid to do? Well, I want my kid to be a doctor. I want to be Dr. Johnson. Well, okay. I think Gio should go be a doctor too.
Yeah, sure.
But honestly, your kid likes to play with cars and he likes to do stuff. That's fine. Samtech might be a good thing for him. Engine building, motorsport EFI tuning. That's something I would like to do. Is just learn how to tune electronic fuel injection. My problem is time to learn something new. But I'm trying. I'm trying very hard to learn something new all the time. Samtech.edu, 713-683-3817. TotalSeal.com, the leader in ring seal technology. How many of you have listened to Hidden Horsepower by Total Seal, the other podcast we do? We actually do one for Samtech, which is Factory Stock Podcast. We do one for Total Seal, which is Hidden Horsepower. 800-874-2753 for you engine builders out there. I know we got a couple engine builders out there that listen to the show for entertainment. But check out the Hidden Horsepower show. You can listen for knowledge. It's pretty amazing. MagicDryUS.com, the official organic absorbent of the NHRA, and Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com. Marvin Rodak. Hey, now that we got that new coffee maker, man, we got to get some different coffee up in here, yo. Marvin, if you're out there, I've got this new coffee maker. It's like a DeLonghi. It can make 10 cups of coffee, like a real, pot of coffee maker, as opposed to an espresso maker. And it's very interesting. It's like all of a sudden it's changing my coffee experience. And the first day I was with it, I was like, oh, man. And I into my cup number 7. I realized that this is probably a big mistake. Don't drink 7 cups of cup number 7. So very interesting. So those are the people that support WFO Radio, really the NHRA Nitro podcast. But we love to give them love here because they support us. Also, big reminder to everybody out there, Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353. I like to do the 2-number combinations, 848353, but it's much easier to go 848-353. Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084. Should I do it all again? Yeah, start from scratch. Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353. Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084, a self-addressed stamped envelope. All right, Giovanni, what are you doing over there, man? You're into it. I know I've kind of just been riffing here at the start of the show,
to you,
doing all the promotions, and
your
this,
thing.
and then sign up to that, and then follow us on this, and then do another thing, and then go here and get on this, and
here,
Drag Racing
there,
Edge,
everywhere.
and EV3 Drag Racing. Let's again, the rumor mill. Like rumors that are circulating. A rumor that is circulating is the Capco team may not be at the Winter Nationals. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I think that is a big story to be following. Paul Lee got the Global Electronic Technology sponsorship. That's on board. Of course, they're on board with Antron Brown as well. Going to be very interesting. I'm very excited. And WFO listeners, we got to do a big meetup out there. And then from Pomona, I head to Performance TV. But right now, let's talk Super Bowl and do it in chronological order and get it out of the way. The first thing I will say is that the city of Miami did a great job. I'm very proud of my city, even though my city is Pembroke Pines, Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, Broward. But We are repping Miami Super Bowl LIV. I thought they did a great job. What about you, Gio? What is your analysis of the way the city rocked it?
Well, it looked like they did everything great. The whole aspect of having all the broadcasters out on South Beach and everyone over there, ESPN and Fox and all the daytime shows and all those new gambling shows, and everybody was out there, and it was definitely showcasing what the rest of the country thinks Miami is, which is over there, that little 10-block area of South Beach.
Well, not only that, though. There was a 10-block area of South Beach, the convention. It is the 10-block area of South Beach. There's so much more to it. But I noticed that all the lights were working and all the toll booths were well lit and everything. It was just...
Well, they definitely had the whole,
everything worked.
Everything was on and everything was being showcased.
Hard Rock Stadium. JC reached out. He's like, oh, my gosh, Hard Rock Stadium looked amazing. And it really did. Hard Rock Stadium looked incredible. The lights, like the day after we went to Topgolf, I got off the exit, which I'm coming to my house. I get off the exit, and I decide to make a right instead of a left and go into the stadium, like not into the parking lot per se, but like right in front of it. There's a U-turn lane, and I just kind of pulled into the lane and took a couple of pictures and Instagrammed it and all. Just gorgeous. It looked so fantastic. And they had a couple of drone shots, the roof that they have. They would kind of fly from the outside under the roof out to the field. It was really amazing. They did such a great job. And, I just wonder what it would be like to have my team in the Super Bowl. Like, how would I handle it? Will I see that before I die? I think I am, but maybe not. Pat Mahomes is going to win the next 10 straight Super Bowls now.
Yeah, I don't know about 10 straight, but definitely there is a window open there for Kansas City to be on a nice run when you have the best player in the league on your team. And at 24, he has now been league MVP last year, and now he's a Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl champion this year.
That's pretty intense.
And they still got Andy Reid. So
Andy Reid, Super Bowl caliber coach. There it is. The circuit is now complete.
Andy
Reid. An
Reid.
argument from, what was that, 2014?
2012 maybe even.
You said he was not a Super Bowl caliber coach?
No, I said, what it was when he lost
win.
his job in Philadelphia.
Right.
That was a lot more than 2014.
Whenever that was. We had a big debate because I said that I felt like it was big debate. Did they fire him? Yeah, it was a huge debate.
Yeah, he was fired.
It was a huge debate. I said that I liked him a lot, and I would love for him to come to Miami, and the debate was whether or not he had what it took. And I said he definitely did, and I guaranteed that Andy Reid would win a Super Bowl in his career. Guaranteed it. And it happened. Yes. It's all personal with me, as you can tell.
Yeah, except that's not exactly how it happened, but we'll let you
what is your recollection? I'm open to other interpretations, but
I don't
feel
recall
like
you ever vouching for Andy to come be the Dolphin coach or anything.
Absolutely, at the time.
But we'll see. We could always find. We know the area of the shows. I mean, I'll run through the.
You're really going to go dig into an 8-year-old show?
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
It's a lie, but it's all right. You don't have to call me out on the show. People will think I might do the research, and then I can just come back and say I couldn't figure out what show it was.
Whatever. They don't care about that. They know I'm telling the truth.
But
Andy Reid's not coming to the Dolphins is the problem. A guy of that caliber, he's not coming to the Dolphins. But
remember, they were busy back then. They already had their coach. They had the Pilgrim.
Who?
The Pilgrim.
That was Joe
Philbin.
Oh, my God. What a bust. I do feel optimistic about the Dolphins, but we'll see. We'll see. It's got to play out, and there's really tough competition. A lot of great quarterbacks. The game was fun. I did not see Ron Capps on the sideline once.
No, I did not either.
I was looking.
I got to tell you, I don't think I saw too many.
I didn't see Mark Rebillis.
I didn't recognize too many faces, so to speak.
What do you mean? Anywhere?
Yeah, like as they, I didn't get too much of the panning of the crowd looking for the celebs, I guess, so to speak, is what I mean.
There were a lot of celebs in the house. Good game, though. It was basically KC and then San Fran.
It found its rhythm because it was a little bit kind of, there was a little bit there that it was a little kind of, I don't want to say boring, but
Mahomes
we
was
couldn't
not
find
playing
the rhythm.
Well. He was playing terrible for a while.
For 3.5 quarters.
Shorting several passes.
He definitely was not having his best game.
And they can bust out 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes and just win.
And that is it right there. And now, as I was discussing with someone earlier today, the window's open for Kansas City to go on a nice streak of over the next couple of years. When you look at the competition in the AFC, there's no reason to think that they can't go 12-4, 13-3 over the next 3 to 4 years easily. 4 or 5 years with Mahomes.
And now they know how to win.
Barring any injury or unforeseen circumstances, which is, you never know. We thought the Cowboys were going on a great run, and then Jerry decided that he needed to have more credit than Jimmy. And
how about Jerry Jones' $250 million yacht? That is
super yacht.
Yeah,
super
mega
yacht.
Super yacht. Mega yacht.
Yeah. I don't know.
$250 million though, man.
Yeah,
you know what that is?
$250 million.
That's $250 million.
Yeah, peasant money,
Oh.
chump change.
Well, compared to who? That's got to be one of the most
Bezos.
expensive. Yeah, I guess. Is there a $1 billion yacht out there yet? Yeah, it's called a cruise ship.
Yeah,
where they had Jeff Gordon on there with Gronk. Pre-game stuff was interesting. Gordon, a lot of promos for the Daytona 500. Excited about that.
There was a lot of cross promo for Daytona, for the MMA, for everything that Fox is covering.
The wrestling. All kinds of wrestling.
Not MMA, you're correct. Sorry, the wrestling.
Wrestling.
The WWE style wrestling.
Yeah. WWE style wrestling.
Well, yeah, like the SmackDown. There you go. That's what it was. It was a SmackDown commercial.
That's Friday night thing.
Yes, Friday Night SmackDown, which is now on Fox, and they are advertising the heck out of it. But I'm sure, the Booger Eaters do draw good numbers.
The Booger Eaters?
Oh, what?
What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
What
Did you hear something?
What did you say?
I think you're hearing things.
No, we all heard what you said about. Who's that about? No, you said it. I didn't say it. You said it. What are you talking about? Funny? Funny how? Funny like...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Funny like a clown? Like I amuse you?
Yeah, like funny.
Booger
just like,
Eaters.
you know what you're.
Going to fold under questioning, Hendry. So in the end, the game was good. Good time. We had.
Well, it definitely ended well, and what are you going to do?
Rare situation. We had I had a small gathering, and everybody in the house was pulling for KC. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Like my parents, it was an all AFC house. Normally there's one that just has got to go against the grain.
For San Francisco, but
who?
Your ma.
My ma?
Your ma. She was going for the Niners.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know why.
Yeah.
She did not publicize that.
Yeah, when she walked in, we discussed it.
Wow. Ma, what are you doing? Well, nobody.
But she left before the comeback. Remember, it got a little late there, and they decided to check it.
Okay, what about the halftime show? Everybody is like my opinion of people's opinions of the halftime show is outrage, insanity. Like I watched the halftime show.
I thought the halftime show was fine. It was, I don't know who the rappers that came out with them are. I don't recognize most of their songs.
No,
but it was entertaining and shaking going on. And
do you know there's a big thing going on with the halftime show?
What do you mean?
Like a lot of people around the country are protesting it. I mean, they're not in the streets or having sit-ins or anything,
right?
But a lot of real negativity on social media about the Spanish language and that it was kind of a Latin flavor and all of those things. And I'm kind of shocked about that. Shakira flapping her tongue like a turkey. Remember that part?
I do.
Someone said that the microphone represented a phallic symbol and the tongue. People are losing their minds, man.
Well, that's what the social media is for.
It's crazy. People are like, you've got the polarization on the halftime show. Some people said it was really good, which I thought it was plenty good. It was fine.
But
what's wrong with it?
From the halftime show
it was the worst
at the Super Bowl.
halftime show in the history of ever. How could they possibly do that desecration of America? You obviously haven't gone on Twitter.
Not the Twitter that I saw.
Yeah,
people
hated it.
People were pretty happy with what was going on.
I enjoyed it. Well, how do you have? You got Shakira and you got Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo. First of all, the real talk is that these guys, Vlad was over, Gio was over, was that Paulie the White Guy called me today that Shakira made J-Lo look like an old lady.
I gotta say, I felt like Shakira definitely outplayed J-Lo.
Okay, which is a different thing than made her look like an old lady. I would say yes, I agree. That Shakira did a better, like in performance battle, Shakira won. But she didn't make J-Lo look like an old lady.
Well, I mean, J-Lo's not young any longer.
I don't know what her age is.
50s or 50. It could be 5-0 on the dot.
See, I think it's amazing.
Look, I understand, but I did feel like she did have a little bit of the older look. She had a lot more assistance with the dancing of, guys holding her up and walking her from one place to the other, where, I get it that she's like a big star and all that, but it did kind of seem, just kind of. And she had like 20-inch pumps, high heels on.
Well, that's exactly the point. I don't think her mobility is in question. That's just part of the show.
Right.
But Cleopatra, they carried her too, and she was
50.
Fine.
She'll be 51 this summer. So she's
a big 5-0.
In July, so she's right in the middle.
Just like us.
And a half.
She's in our area.
She's 4 years older than us. She was born in 69.
Same. She's a child of the 60s.
Right. We were born in the 70s.
They're very different. But all good. All good. Fun deal, fun halftime show. People, if you don't get Miami, like that's the thing. Like, why would you not want to come to Miami and enjoy all of that? The fun, the partying, the weather was pretty good. It got great after the Super Bowl was over. Like, today was fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, it was cold in the morning. I don't know if you were out.
A little rainy.
It was like 48, 49 at 6:45 when
I didn't see any iguanas.
When I first stepped outside.
I didn't see iguanas anywhere.
Yeah?
I'm hoping they would go down. All right. So there it is. There's pretty much the Super Bowl conversation. There was the big Super Bowl commercials. I got a list of the top 10 according to CBS Sports. I can go down the quick list, and we can knock these out and then delve into some hardcore NASCAR conversation. Also, Formula One. And in fact, some big news that I just saw is that Alonso was going to try to run the Indy 500 again, and Honda said no. They shot him down.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, apparently made a comment a while back about their engine being a GP2 style engine, not enough power. And so Honda is getting a little revenge by not allowing him to drive a Honda.
Interesting.
Isn't that awful? I'll read the story. And we'll get into some other things, I would imagine. I did put up on our Facebook group, did you see that commercial for Facebook groups? That we do have open phones. So maybe someone will call. Maybe they will not. We don't know. But I did open it up for people to know that we do have open phones. Maybe you send a push notification, because I noticed that Race Guitar and a couple others missed a show last week, and they were posting on the social.
What do you mean the show was up?
But I guess they didn't listen. I guess they were taking a break or protesting. Who knows? Maybe he was protesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, man, they heard the show because they knew about the birthday bash stuff.
Or
I
they
saw
heard
them
it late,
tweeting,
perhaps.
yeah.
So, regardless. All right, Super Bowl commercials. According to CBS Sports, they've got number one as Smart Pack.
I know what that was. That was the Hyundai.
The Bostonians.
With a Big Bobby and
Wicked Smart.
What's the name? Steve Rogers and
I believe his name is Captain America.
Steve Rogers.
Oh yeah, that's right. The actor, what does he have a name? Does it matter anymore?
I think it's Chris Evans.
Oh, I have no clue. But yeah, Smart Pack. If you didn't see Smart Pack was the Bostonians.
Oh, look at this guy.
Phone lines are open. You want me to send one?
Yeah, send it.
See what happens.
Hey, good. How are you?
He's not getting that car in there.
Cat.
No, sir.
Look at these two troublemakers. Hey, Johnny, how are you?
Wicked car. Is that new?
Yeah, it's a Sonata. Let me pack it. Oh, you're not fitting your car in there.
Pack
Chris,
it.
stop being a smarty pants, all right?
Smart Pack.
Look who's got Smart Pack.
Smart Pack?
Just hit the clicker. Car packs itself.
Yeah, what do you think about that? So now in the parking lot, the person gets out of the car and stands next to the car while the car, works its way into the spot. I feel like that is slowing us all down. Learn to park your damn car. Sorry, folks, but now we're in a crowded parking lot. You've all been in the crowded parking lot. You've been there, movie theater, someplace where it's kind of chaotic, right? And so what? This person, finally a spot opens up, and this person, angles their car in, and they get out of the car, and they click the clicker, and the car goes through a K turn times 12. Back and forth, and back and forth. And they're standing there watching it. I don't know, man. Learn to park your car.
I agree. Learn to park the car.
Learn to park the car. Smart Pack.
Smart Pack.
Okay, Rocket Mortgage from Jason Momoa. I don't know that one. I missed it.
Oh, yeah, no, man. That's the Aquaman one.
Yeah, I missed it.
What do you mean, no? That
I
he
missed
walks
it.
in and he's Aquaman and he takes off all the stuff and he no longer has muscles and he's this weak little guy with no hair. And
Missed it.
How did you miss it?
I was grilling. I was cooking.
That
I was
came
doing
on
all
earlier. I
kinds
have
of
that
stuff.
one here. I wrote,
Click the link. It's a
I
minute
wrote some
20?
of the commercials I paid attention to.
What does home mean to me?
Okay, see, it's a minute 20. I can't do that.
No, but Chris.
Okay, my personal favorite was what they have as third.
Well, that's what I have as the best one.
Groundhog Day.
I know what you. Of course.
Groundhog Day was great. It gave us
the Jeep.
Ugh.
Bill Murray and Phil.
Phil. Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil.
Punxsutawney Phil.
You know why I loved that so much?
Which I happened to watch in the morning.
Ugh.
And Punxsutawney Phil
First of all,
said early spring.
Bill Murray.
No, like the actual.
No, I know, but Bill Murray is like one of my faves. I love
Gobbler
Bill.
Snob.
And I think when Groundhog Day first came out, which Groundhog Day was a big movie for Bill Murray, because Bill Murray was kind of bouncing around, had some time away. Groundhog Day was fantastic. But you always saw the trailer with the groundhog driving the car. And he's like, don't drive angry. Don't drive angry. And you're thinking, oh, man, that's cute. And it turns out to be 10 seconds in the movie. And you never really got a lot of groundhog time. And this gave you all the groundhog time you ever wanted. Him and Bill become friends, and they go out and they spend every day over and over again just hanging out. Bill and the groundhog. They play whack-a-mole. Phil and Phil. Phil and Bill. Phil and Phil. Phil Connor.
Yeah, and Punxsutawney Phil.
And Punxsutawney Phil. And they were playing whack-a-mole, and he's explaining whack-a-mole to the groundhog.
Yeah, no, I got to tell you, the first time I saw Groundhog Day, I was like a little like, that was kind of weird. I usually like Bill Murray. And I had to watch it again. And then it became like...
It's very good. It's very
it's one of my
Lebowski.
favorite, I mean, obviously, it's different genres and stuff, but it's definitely one of my favorite movies.
Can watch it
whenever it's on.
anytime
I
it's
can't
on.
help but stop.
Yeah. It's very Lebowski. It's a
Groundhog
cult
Day.
classic.
It's still only once a year, right?
Right? Yeah. Strike up the music. The band has begun. The Pennsylvania polka. You should have that. All right, here number 4, according to CBS, is the one that I hated, like poison. Vile poison. Google's commercial for Loretta.
Oh, I didn't like
hey,
that at
folks, don't worry that you're
was
losing your
horrible.
mind and your memories. You'll always have Google to be your friend. And it's like, hey, Google, help me remember my wife, please. It was horrible. It was anxiety-inducing. Hey, please, Google, all my memories are destroying and I can't remember my love of my life. Please show me a memory that I'll remember, please.
Loretta.
Google.
Right? Was that the lady's name?
Google
Loretta,
will
where
always
is it
be
here?
your friend. You don't need your family anymore. You don't need those memories. Google will remember them for you. Google will be here. Thank God at least the guy goes out and walks his dog at the end, right? Because then it would have been pathetic. That was insanity. I was so against it. It made me feel terrible. Anxiety.
Yeah, I didn't like that one at all.
Right?
Nope.
Did it give you negative emotions?
Hated it.
Hated it. Right. 4 thumbs down. It truly, listen to what these people say about it, though. It's tested 3rd, 2nd. Like, this one got a lot of love. Regardless of how rugged a fan you may have been, this commercial could bring a tear to your eye. Google put together a commercial that showed an elderly man using the Google virtual assistant to remember things about his late wife following her passing. It truly tugs at your heartstrings. Yeah, right. As he descends into the horrors of dementia, this man uses Google to struggle to retain his memories of his former loved one. And Google is warning all of its customers that someday this will happen to you. And without Google, you'll be left with no one.
No memories.
Horrible. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I
just
didn't
crossed
read that
the
much
line.
into it. I just didn't like it.
I did. It crossed the line. Doritos, the Cool Ranch Long Form. This is one with Lil Nas X and Sam Elliott doing the dramatic read. But then he turns into a dancer. Everybody's dancing.
Why is everybody
The
dancing?
communists are teaching their kids how to fight, and our kids are dancing. Hulu, Tom Brady, number 6.
Oh, I knew that. You know,
Tom
I
Brady
knew that.
wearing-
Tom Brady dropped that picture on Friday, and it got all the media thinking he was retiring. And the first thing that came to my mind, I'm like, that's got to be a spot.
Tom Brady.
Way to go, Tom. How many buckets of loads of money, of dollar bills did they drop off at your house for Hulu Live?
Looking very fashionable in his coat and
Oh,
turtleneck.
he always looks,
Yeah.
Top of the line.
Kia, Josh Jacobs. The
I don't
story of
remember
running
that
back
one.
Josh Jacobs talked about he was homeless at times. He made it through a lot. He's got a Kia. I don't know. I didn't see that one either. Bryan Cranston, Mountain Dew.
Oh, I remember that one. That it was like The Shining.
It was like The Shining. The Shining attempted to get.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, Cranston's good. Number 9, Bud Light, inside Post Malone's brain. Post Malone has blossomed into one of music's biggest stars. Yeah. 10, Baby Nut, Planters.
Oh, I didn't like that guy.
Rip off. I liked him.
Wannabe Baby Yoda.
It was.
It's just,
I liked.
complete rip off.
Yeah, but I liked that I would call it an homage.
Yeah, a couple of days ago they came out with Mr. Peanut is dead. And it was just a complete,
And it's
it
Baby
was a
Peanut.
blatant ripoff.
It was an homage. It's a baby peanut, and I like the fact that he's like, at first he's all squeaky, and they're like, and he's like, no, I'm back. That's me. I'm back. With his regular voice and everything. People liked it, though. People like baby things.
Yeah.
People like babies. And that's it. There it is.
That's it? That's what you got? No.
Well, CBS is going top 10. I'm going top 10. Do you have any you want to add to the top 10?
Well, let's see. I like the NASCAR cross promos with when the cars came through the stadium.
Shoo, 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 shoo.
I don't know if you.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, the stadium pre and post halftime shows just looking great. They had everything all decked out the way that front end of the stadium where the new club level and by the tennis center is.
Yes.
Just definitely looked great.
Did you hear my dad? He was very prideful of having done the concrete work over there.
Yep. And let's see, the Johnny Cash commercial.
Yes, that was good. That was
The
very
slow read, right? Is that
patriotic,
what it was?
dramatic
Johnny
read.
Cash slow read.
That brought me
Dramatic slow read
to tears.
The kid bringing in the football at the start of the game.
It was very nice.
Running around,
And
the
then
kid with the yellow, with the yellow hair.
The Odell Beckham style.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was yellow like Beckham, but he had more of the Mahomes haircut. Michael Douglas was doing the VO for the NASCAR commercials.
Yes.
That worked. That was pretty cool. That Quibi 10-minute movies ad, and kind of like that one.
Oh, man, I'm against it. Like, really? Right. Now everything has just got to be shorter.
Oh, here's one that was a favorite in the house, the avocado carrier. The avocado commercial.
Yeah, that was
the
cute.
Avocado
the
carrier.
baby avocado carrier. It's like all kinds of baby stuff.
The Coke with the energy drink, Scorsese, Jonah Hill. Did you miss that one too?
No, I saw that one.
Coke had an energy drink.
Yeah, with the 3 dots.
Scorsese's at the party. Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Coke Energy.
Yeah, there you go. Considering stiffing.
I can't have it. I'm on the keto.
Standing up.
I don't think that's keto friendly.
Could you
try again?
Is that me? Is that you?
I have no idea.
You mentioned something, and your Siri has activated.
Whoa, how does that happen? I don't
Siri
even have
is activating.
Siri activated.
Oh my gosh! Look at that. The computer overlords taking control.
Yeah, it's scary. It's very scary.
It heard all of that. It just purchased something on Amazon.
What's extremely scary is that I don't really have Siri activated. I don't know who activated Siri.
Your voice did. You were talking about.
No, I think the kid was messing around. Anyway, Fast 9, they replaced The Rock with John Cena for Fast 9, Fast and the Furious.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to make like 20 of those, huh?
Well, and endless. People go see them.
As long as people go watch it. The 25th Bond movie, I forgot the name.
To Die Another Day.
Or Don't Die Another Day.
To Live and Die in L.A.
And there was a couple more, but the Pringles cartoon one was weird, kind of weird. Pringles, TurboTax, wanting us to do our taxes.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, it's part of The Masked Singer, man. They were cross-promoting the hell out of that.
I watched it.
I've never watched
I watched it for the first time.
So who is behind the mask? Like famous people? Is that what it is?
Yes.
But they're not necessarily singers, but they're all singing?
Yes.
So they're
not, yes.
But there's no athletes out there singing, right?
It could be anyone.
It could be, but it's,
Well,
generally.
I only saw one person.
Oh, okay. Who was it?
It was Lil Wayne.
Oh, he's a rapper.
Right, but he sung. All right, so I watched the show because I figured.
I don't watch any of those goddamn shows.
But it's a Korean. First of all, it's like, is there any doubt that this show originated in Asia? Right, no doubt. There's like turtle costume, and everybody's in these costumes, very elaborate costumes, and they come out and they got a panel, and Jenny McCarthy's on the panel, and what's his name, Robin Thicke is on the panel, and they had Jamie Foxx on the panel and everything. And so whatever, they introduce you to the person, their voice is disguised, they tell you a little bit about themselves, they do their performance, and then the panel has to guess who they are. Man, let me tell you something. The show moves so slow. Speaking of the 10-minute movies, like The Masked Singer should be 10 minutes long. Too long, man. Too long. I'm watching it. Okay. I feel like this thing is going for 2 hours. Just so slow. And so they're guessing all these people that are, like, it's not even remotely close, and it turns out to be Lil Wayne, who I don't know anything about Lil Wayne. But, at least he's a musician. They're picking, like, Johnny Knoxville. Like, Johnny Knoxville wasn't even close. You weren't even in the neighborhood. You had nothing. He's a quasi-fame, C-list celebrity. Knoxville, C-list? Yes?
At best.
At best, right?
Yeah. I don't think anybody even knows who he is anymore.
I know it's a big show and everybody likes The Masked Singer, but really,
or what are they
I
called?
did some research. It's originally a Korean show, and as just like everything else, we can't innovate anything anymore. It's all just kind of retaken and repackaged for America, and it's a Korean show. No offense, Korea, but it stunk. Too slow. Person shuffles out in the suit, they can barely walk. And now next week, they're going to go again, and they're going to try to guess The Masked Singer, and eventually they'll get to the last one, and they'll figure out whoever it is. Yeah, I don't know. I just say.
So how do you win? By getting to figure out who's behind the mask?
Yes. Like, I guess if you guess the person, like, I think it's Dolly Parton, and it's actually Dolly Parton, maybe you get a point. And, I don't know. I don't know. This thing's been going for a while, by the way, Masked Singer. It's nothing new. So there it is. Anything else?
I think that's all I got.
Good.
I had written some other notes, but I lost those. I only got the big notes here.
I think we covered it all, man. I think that's it. Had a wonderful time.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Now it's time for NHRA.
Now the talking heads can all blame, the quarterback, Jimmy G, or Shanahan. Is he not tough enough or not good enough? And yada, yada. I don't know, man. You got a team that goes to the Super Bowl and plays a good game, and really there was like one drive that they needed to, they got stopped on that one drive. The 1 3 and out when it mattered most.
And we called it. But Kansas City their back was against the wall. That was it.
Well, they were down 20-10, and Mahomes throws an interception, and it looks like that's it, that it was over. But they were able to come up with the big stop. They run the ball on first down. They get nothing. And then on second down, Garoppolo has a guy that's open, but the ball gets tipped by a great play at the D lineman. And that was pretty much it. I mean, you kind of just knew it at that point that they were going to drive down and score.
Yeah.
I mean, the huge play, don't forget, they had Kansas City had that 3rd and 15. They converted, and then it got called back on the pass that they challenged, and they went back and made the 3rd and 15 on that big 40-yard bomb.
Yeah.
To Tyreek Hill. And then when it mattered most again at the end, poor the Shermanator, he gets beat by Sammy Watkins. Huge play there at the end when they scored the game-winning drive.
Steve Shapiro was like lamenting the fact that the Kansas City running back who
Damian Williams?
Yes, was a former Dolphin.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Shapiro's like, yeah, former Dolphin. Like, man, we aren't winning nothing with that guy. What do you like? You're begrudging the guy's Super Bowl victory. Guy scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he doesn't like Adam Gase. He's another one of those guys that Adam Gase told him, no, don't worry, you're going to be here forever.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Sorry, guy. Gone. Later.
Yep.
Yeah, Adam Gase still living off of that one great season with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, amazing stuff. All right. Super Bowl in the books, just like that. It is now time to turn our attention forward.
The foosball is over. The motorsport's beginning. The season, the Australian Open was this weekend. Joker wins another tournament. Now he's only 1 behind Rafa and 2 behind Federer. This guy quickly becoming the most decorated tennis player of all time.
There's 3 tennis players, and they play forever. It's the same 3 guys.
Well, they have dominated
Djokovic,
the modern era now.
Federer, Rafa, Nadal.
Yep.
Is there anybody else?
Well, behind them is Pete Sampras.
Right. Pete Sampras is still playing?
No, but he's the next.
Yeah.
He's next in line in terms of most Grand Slams.
You know what I'm saying? Is like the longevity is almost like these guys have been going forever. Nobody has been able to step up and beat these dudes all this time. Like
Federer had his run, and then he had a couple of,
amazing.
Nadal had his, and now it's the Joker era, it looks like.
Amazing stuff. All right, so Busch Clash. NHRA-wise, listen, we got Fernando Quadra on the show this week. And I'm going to just, I reached out to Fernando Quadra to talk pro stock, and he dropped all kinds of news on me. And I'm going to just, let you guys listen. But in-house program, engine program, all Mustangs, building buildings, starting an engine shop, amazing stuff. You're going to love it. You got to listen to NHRA podcast. Sean Langdon and J.R. Todd, both going to be on the show. And, of course, Alan Reinhart. Good stuff.
What about the Frank interview? Is it going to drop at some point?
Yeah, no, I think yes, absolutely. I've got to go dive in and figure out why it did not air, but I will make sure that you have that as well. And it will go up.
It must have been a glitch in the Matrix.
There was definitely a glitch in the Matrix. One of those, who knows what it was. But whatever. We've been saving it, like I said, for right before when the season starts. Our final champion.
Yeah, that's it.
So here's the
Busch
Clash entries, all the number 1 qualifiers from the previous year. Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, William Lord Byron, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, in his final season.
Wow.
Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Ryan Newman, and Martin Truex Jr. There it is. Daytona qualifying is on Sunday, and the Busch Clash is at 3 p.m. following. Friday is the first practice for ARCA. And then the Busch Clash final practice is Saturday, 11:35 a.m. And the Clash itself is Sunday at 3. We will be in the middle of
finals.
NHRA. No,
it'll be noon over there.
It'll be noon over there.
You'll just be getting
first round eliminations.
Yeah,
which is super exciting. I'm fired up to be on the starting line. I haven't heard nitro cars in a while. I'm gonna be
shocked.
Not
getting enough of key nutrients?
No, I'm getting enough.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. That was me. That one was me.
Woo! Oh, you know what? I just realized.
No.
Quick segue back to NASCAR and the Super Bowl. Clint Boyer was here all weekend, celebrating with the Kansas City. Kansas.
Oh,
since
just
he's
do
from
it
Kansas, Kansas City.
Yeah, I heard a little something about that.
But yeah,
they're very close.
Well, obviously they're neighbors.
Yeah, they're neighbors. They're very close.
But
Missouri,
Clint Boyer was
Kansas,
here, and I saw him having fun and partying it up, and on Twitter celebrating. Clint Boyer. Yeah.
If the Dolphins ever make a Super Bowl again, I don't see myself being well healed enough to go to the city. You know what I mean? Because
what if it's here?
Well, then I could afford it. That would be great.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Although no home team has ever hosted the Super Bowl, so.
Right. And in Tampa's next year, what are they doing? A Florida swing or something? Why are they doing that?
I'm not exactly sure how that turned out. Probably somebody that had it, lost it for whatever reason, or wasn't able to get it, because they generally don't.
No offense to Tampa, but it's no.
You know what? They did Atlanta last year, so maybe they're just on an East Coast thing right now.
What's up with the stadium down there? Does Tampa have a new stadium?
Well, it's not brand new, but it's pretty new.
Really? Tampa can't host the Super Bowl the way we can host the Super Bowl. It's just not the same kind of place. No offense, Tampa. And then we got Vegas is going to get it, and LA is going to get it. Everybody who's got a new stadium. So,
yeah, I believe they've already got all the next 5 till 2024. I believe is what they had already. So
Oh, here's a little breaking news that I'll read to you.
Go
little
ahead.
break. It's drag racing related. Top Fuel Harley great Doug Vansel will not return in 2020. This being reported by Cycle Drag less than 1 hour ago. A Nitro Harley legend is hanging up the leathers, at least for the 2020 season anyhow. After finishing second in the points for the past 2 seasons, Doug Vansel will not compete in 2018. Vansel says the main reason for his departure is the withdrawal of his primary sponsor, Vance & Hines. Vance & Hines was told the move comes after Vance & Hines' principal sponsor, Harley-Davidson, was forced to restructure. I want to say thank you to Vance & Hines. Terry is a great guy, a wonderful opportunity. Vansel said it was an okay run. We had some good races. I wish we could have done more. Wow, that's a bummer.
Wow.
Yeah, the restructure. We shall see. So you were saying?
That next year's in Tampa, and then the following year is at the new stadium in L.A., and then they're going to Arizona and New Orleans, Nolans. So they do not have one planned for Vegas just yet, but they will more than likely get one soon. Those are the ones that have been so far announced.
Goodell said they were coming back to Miami real soon.
Well, no, it's all reality. Everyone is involved very much enjoys coming down here. By the way, Fox, they did a very good job with the whole presentation.
The whole thing was A+.
It really was.
A+.
You know,
how about the let's do the juxtaposition for our motorsports listeners of that's where they want to have the Formula One race around that stadium. So now you guys have some context. You just watched Miami do a big event, home run, and you saw the stadium, gorgeous. Like everybody's got a beautiful stadium now. These things cost $1 billion. Okay, this one was built by Joe Robbie back in the 1980s, out of his pocket. And Stephen Ross, put $400 million, a lot of it his own money, into it to upgrade it, and that's great. And so now, like, the idea that we could have a Formula One race around that stadium, that's what they're going to do. Like, that would be pretty spectacular. I think they would do a good job. The track won't be the greatest. It won't be like, Spa. But it'll be okay. And to have Formula One, the Formula One crowd there, Miami Gardens, are you crazy?
They don't want it.
Crazier than a bedbug to have.
They don't want it. They got all kinds of scams going on. There's noise pollution.
Right.
And air pollution, and we're trying to kill the people of the neighborhood.
Exactly. A total of 58 different drivers have led at least one lap of the Busch Clash at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads in laps led of the Busch Clash at Daytona with 149 laps led of his 1,073 laps completed in the Busch Clash. Denny Hamlin leads all active drivers. That's interesting. Did I tell everybody to join the Fantasy League? Do it. This is it. This is your 2-minute warning for the Fantasy League. Get in the league. And there's a whole host. JC's got a whole host of things for the Busch Clash.
Cool. Here's one I saw. Tony Stewart, Hall of Fame.
Yes, the Hall of Fame inductees.
His speech and thanked all the numerous women involved in Tony's life.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said...
for all the girls I've loved before.
Kind of, sort of. I might have it here, but...
Who traveled in and out our door.
I guess here, let's see what happens, what this does.
What do you mean what it does?
Well, let's see if a spot doesn't play.
What do it mean?
We might be able to...
there's that spot.
Yeah, well, all right. Here, I'll keep it quiet while the spot plays, and I'll let you know when it comes back on now. And Tony, that he thanks all his ex-girlfriends because he doesn't have a family. Here we go.
And I followed everything that Bobby did. And then there came the day that I saw Bobby on a bike, training for like the Tour de France or something, eating health food, talk about living a healthier lifestyle. And I took a big giant swig of Coke, grabbed a bag of Oreos, and decided to do my own thing finally. Turns out both lifestyles can get you to the Hall of Fame. And since we're talking about family, and since I don't have one of my own, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all the girlfriends who were there as part of this journey with me. Sorry, Delaney, I told you I had to do this. These girlfriends' short time and sacrifice meant a lot to me.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, yeah, how about that, Tony? Bachelor.
Oh, he's a bachelor.
Lifetime bachelor. That's
Yeah, he hangs out with Delana and Kevin.
Yeah.
And little Kevin or whatever his name is.
Interesting.
Kalen, I think.
Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte, Joe Gibbs, Buddy Baker, Waddell Wilson. The NASCAR Hall of Fame. Good for Tony. He obviously is totally deserving. That's exciting. John Andretti passing away, something we can get to talk about. Kind of happened between shows. John Andretti, first of all, and Andretti passed. That's really a big deal. But John Andretti he passed away on my birthday.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Me, Corey Mack, Josh Friedman, and FDR. Celebrities and regulars that happen to be born on January 30th.
I see.
Yeah. But John Andretti drag raced. And that was one of the cool things about John is that he drag raced in the modern era. I shared something on Facebook, a good Diamond P Sports, Blast from the Vast broadcast where they were all in on John Andretti. And Darrell Gwynn's car with Mike Dunn driving finally took him out in the semifinal round. The phones are ringing. WFO Radio, you're on the air. Who's this?
WFO Joe.
Hey, who am I talking to?
Ricky Depew.
Hey, what's up, Ricky? Well, you're going over the road. No, long time no talk. How you been?
Oh, busy, trying to get some money together for a new race car. How's that sound?
Nah, it sounds great. Sounds like you and me both.
Yeah.
You having any luck? You finding any money?
Well, I just keep working hard,
That's it.
Hauling everybody else's dreams around the country, trying to make mine come true.
Oh, I love that. That's so good. Well, you keep on doing what you're doing, man. You never know. The gods will shine upon you.
Ready for drag racing to start.
Me too.
So, what's hot on the table besides Super Bowl?
Well, we just kind of did a Super Bowl wrap-up right now. We did City and the halftime show, and a lot of people loved it, and a lot of people hated it. And we talked about the Busch Clash. We're getting ready for NASCAR. Talked about our WFO Radio Fantasy League. We kicked around the rumor mill stuff that says that the Capco team may not show up to the Winter Nationals this weekend.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on. And, we got to just wait and see what happens. But there's a lot of interesting things.
I'm kind of curious to see, factory stock showdown. How many Fords are going to show up if they're putting restrictor plates on them now?
Well, that's not for certain yet.
That's what I was wondering. What's going on?
It's not. Here's what I hear is that they have released the combinations of rules. And there's a couple of things, like the Chargers are, being given a little bit. The Camaros are getting a little, the least. And I hear the Camaro drivers are upset, but that the prospect of potentially some sort of restrictor plate in the throttle body is out there for the Fords, but has yet to be announced. So that's like something that may happen.
Yeah.
Which I would be very against. You know me. I'm generally I like to think I'm a balanced person when new rules come down, and I try to see all sides, and I try to understand the rules makers. But if that were to happen, then I would be disillusioned because I just don't like the concept of a restrictor plate. I'm just against it.
I mean, they've already thrown quite a few restrictions at them, with blower pulleys and what have you. And I mean, I'm a Ford guy, so I hate to say it, but it just seems like anytime you get a Ford that starts kicking butt, whether it's 1 or 3, then the rules really start clamping down on them. And the GM guys, they just keep keeping on, and they love their LS motors, and that's fine. But I don't think they're all that great of an engine if they can't keep up with the smaller Ford.
Well, but see, here's the thing.
And I understand,
yeah, you're
4
going.
valves per cylinder.
But that makes all the difference. That's everything right there. Four valves per cylinder is what makes everything. And yeah, they've got, but that just goes to show you, the push rod V8 versus the, overhead cam V8. This is something we've probably known for a long time, and now we're seeing it in practice. And it just is better. It revs unlimited.
And the thing is, they could make it too. I mean,
and they might be. And that's another thing. Like, okay, now if they do, yeah, I agree. Like that might be something that will be rolling out real soon. And if it is, then what? Right? Is that that's where we're at? And I understand. Here's where the mistake was made. Water over the bridge.
Uh-huh.
They should have left them at 302 cubic inches. Give them the supercharger. Leave them at 302. And everything is even. But we saw them at the Gator Nationals, running 60s. Like they asked for a bunch of stuff, and they got it all, and it was too much. And now the cars, you can't slow them down enough. They're just thoroughbred, ready to run. So that's why they want to do this restrictor plate. First of all, Ricky, I don't know what it's a fantasy scenario that I would be in control of anything. But I would send them back to the 302 cubic inches. I would get rid of the 25 extra cubic inches. They can get back to it. They're going to blow, next year, middle of the year, by a certain date. Let them wear out the stuff that they've got. But they should have never been given that. That's where it all went sideways. They should have never been given that last layer of updates, and we would never have this problem.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But they were also the smallest motor, too, at that point. I mean, and still are. Right?
And still are, yes. No, they still are. 354 for the Dodge, 350 for the Chevy, and 327 for the Ford. But with the dual overhead cam, like, what's that worth? We don't really know, and except now we know. That's what it's worth. It's worth, what would you call it? A tenth?
Well, and personally, like I said, I'm a Ford guy. The Cobra Jets were made to come out and win races in stock eliminator. They did their homework. They built a product that they put out there to the public, and there was a lot of GM guys going over and trying them out, and probably a few that stayed. So, GM and Chrysler decided to put out what they decided to put out.
No, and there's no arguing that. That is a fact. Like, they could have done whatever they wanted, and this is what they did in this category. And based on the rules that the NHRA made, the Ford is I'm all for, trying to equalize things somewhat, but this is clearly...
Yeah, me too. And the sad part is I hope that they don't end up killing the class by, knocking one of the big three out of the mix by rules,
Yeah,
so,
I agree. Well, I agree 100% on that.
Then you got to have people willing to spend the money, and the Dodgers showed that they could run. I mean, they won the one season. They took, and then they come out and they stunk. I mean, what'd they do? Nothing. I don't know. I think personally, I think it's almost like there was sandbagging going on to keep from letting the Fords just run away with it. I mean, they didn't do their homework, and the Fords did, and the Fords come out and showed them the way to the finish line.
Well, they definitely didn't ask for anything.
It still comes down to getting down the track, and a lot of the races were decided by who could manage the power. You still got 9-inch wide tires. I don't care how much horsepower you got. If you can't hook it to the ground, then you are not going to win a race. So there's more to this class than horsepower.
Well, I would echo your sentiment in that I really hope they don't take something that has been great and fun and exciting and captured everybody's energy and hurt it, right? Like get people sour in any way. Like there's got to be a road to mutual success. I just don't know what it is, but I hope they find it.
Not an easy task, for sure. And so other than that, hey, let's bring on some pro stock. Man, it looks like we got some people coming out to play. 20
cars entered, and we're going to interview Fernando Quadra on the NHRA podcast, and he is going to blow everybody's mind with their investment. They have basically started a whole new program, and it's going to be pretty special. I think they've got a plan down the road. They're doing it all themselves. Pretty big and interesting news.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hated to see him cut back the number of races, but it looked like it was a win-win for pro stock.
So far,
and,
yeah.
The competition's been tighter and tighter with the lease engine programs. So you can rent the horsepower. If you can, again, make your car go down the track, then you got a shot at being on the top.
Exactly.
So it's been a long time since I talked to you, Joe. So I figured I seen the push notification. I said, I'm watching JJ the Boss, Street Outlaws, kicking back, waiting to get some cars to haul to Syracuse, New York, to the auto show. And
yeah, cold. Gio, you just gave Gio a shiver because you said Syracuse. How cold it must be.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you did, Ricky. I appreciate your support. You've been around for a long time as a listener. And, we don't always open the phones, but when we do, we love to hear from the long times.
Well, it's I do miss the Facebook Live stuff.
Oh, it's coming back. We're figuring it out. Just to get more group interaction. I'm going to try to figure out how to, the best way to get it going. But that's definitely happening this year.
Well, you've been a busy guy, so I know you're being pulled in every direction trying to make this all work, and appreciate it. I got to tell you, I've had a hard time adjusting to the new format and being able to listen to the shows without because all my listening is done while I'm driving down the highway.
Right.
And it's just now I got to do more phone interaction in order to get to the podcast to listen to it.
Okay, why? Because instead of coming out in like 1 3-hour block, you've got to deal with like 4 30-minute blocks, and it's just like 4 times you got to go and find it.
And I haven't figured out how to, other than a lot of times, I can take and start with the last one out and then listen to them backwards. But I'm used to listening to Alan first, so I like to go forward, not backwards.
Right, and see, this is the problem. So here's what we did, okay? This is a good conversation to have with our listeners. And, I'm wondering, okay, so here's what happened, okay? We would put out this 3-hour show, and a lot of people were constantly telling me in my ear, like a lot of people, 3 hours, people are going to see that, and they're not going to want to listen because they know it's just too long, and it's a daunting task, and they're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be a turnoff, and you've got to shorten things so that they say, oh, wow, 30 minutes, that's something I can do, and they do it, okay? And that made a lot of sense to me, Ricky, and so that's why we separated. And I got to say, like, our numbers, like overall numbers, have gone up, and it's not, it's just math in that, we put out 4 interviews and we get 2,000 on each, as opposed to 1 and we get 2,000 on. You get it? Maybe it's the same people, but the numbers are still going up.
No, I get it. It's
but wait, like your specific notion is something that has been on our minds, in that, what is the rollout? Like, whatever's on the top of the list gets the most listens. That's just the way it is. So we don't want to bury anybody. So you might have noticed initially we would drop them in a batch, right? Like Gio would post everything on Tuesday night in a clump. And Alan Reinhart would be like 4 down from the top, and you'd have to just work your way, and you write it backwards, and it's very, we didn't really know how to do it. And so what we have done, we've adapted. And what's happening now is Gio is posting Reinhardt on Tuesday at the normal time. And then guest number 2 on Wednesday morning. And then guest number 3 on Wednesday night. And then the guest number 4 on Thursday. And the logic that we have concocted that is based on nothing but our own guess to what the audience might want is that it's better to be WFO in your life for a little while each day than in one giant sum on one day. You know what I mean? And so like this week, it's going to be Alan Reinhardt. It's going to be Langdon.
See what you're saying.
You'll have a little WFO every day as opposed to one long WFO on one day.
Yep. No, I get that.
And maybe it's totally wrong, man. Like there's a possibility that this is the flawed logic. That's why we're talking about it.
Okay. Well, for the average guy that's maybe sitting in a cubicle, the way you've got it is pretty good, because they may not be able to sit in their cubicle for more than an hour at a time. For the people that are out on the road listening to you, I can knock down 4 hours at a time in a heartbeat when I'm heading across the country.
Right. You want to listen to us for 4 straight hours. This is a crazy person, but that's I understand. Yeah, no, it's there's a methodology.
So now, Joe, I'm listening to other podcasts out there about drag racing.
You see that? Because of you, Gio. It's your fault.
I can't get enough at one time. So, and also, I don't seem to be getting push notifications. So it's like, are you putting out a notification when each show hits?
Yes.
Or you just... Okay.
On the WFO app, like in theory, there's a push notification, a tweet, and a Facebook message. They're all updated as each one goes out. And, within a few minutes of it becoming live. Plus, how do you listen? Do you have the WFO app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and then it seemed like when things changed, I'm just an old guy with new technology, So, but the SoundCloud, I can go in, and if I get interrupted by a phone call or something, I can go right back in and pick it up. Now, with the original app, it seems like I get interrupted by a phone call, then I'm losing the whole thing, and I got to start over, which is, again, more issues that I'm having to deal with while trying to be safe driving down.
Well, we don't want you doing that. What I would recommend is, here's the thing about the WFO app. I spoke with the guys that designed it, and they say that as long as you don't close the app, you should be able, if you leave the app open, that it should remember where it was. But if you close the app, like a hard close, that it will take you back to the beginning. But we're sorting it all out. But here's the thing. And this is, in all honesty, SoundCloud and Spotify and Apple, their business is making sure that you have a fantastic app to listen to that has every feature on the planet, including 2 and 3 times speed, etc. Whereas the WFO app is, I think, really good. But to be able to keep up with those guys and the innovations that they're constantly coming up with to make podcast listening easy and seamless and all that is challenging. And so I very often, as much as I want you to have the WFO app so you can get the push notifications and access to the full archive, etc., I also am not against you having that SoundCloud app or Spotify. I've found that those two are fantastic, and they're free. And they work real well. Now, do
you have an iPhone?
Yeah, iPhone.
That podcast app is, I kind of tend to use that one to listen to all the podcasts that I listen to, and I think that one works great. It's got the 1.5 or 2 times speed for those that that have
they want to listen at a high speed.
Yeah, that want to listen to at a
There's
faster
been
rate.
some problems with Apple and podcasts, though, lately, that unable to get the show at this moment thing. I've had a lot of listeners ask me about that. Like, what's up with that?
I think that's an issue with the phone. Like, I had that happen to me, like, one day, the whole day, but it wasn't just our podcast. It was everything I was trying to listen to.
Multiple podcasts.
And I shut the phone down. Like, I powered it down, left it off for like a minute and then powered it back up. And, in the end, it's a computer. And that seems to resolve a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know. It seems like there's been a lot of problems with
we had
phones recently, yeah.
We had an episode of Hidden Horsepower that didn't show up on Spotify for whatever reason. I had to, email them and make it happen. But in the end, I really appreciate this conversation, Ricky, because this is what we're trying to do constantly, is like understand.
The feedback.
Yeah, understand where and how to make it better, and at very least you understand what we're trying to accomplish, and we'll get there. But in your like specific case, I think, gosh, as much as I love the WFO app, going directly to the SoundCloud app is the way you're going to get the WFO directly, because they're the one that hosts our audio, right? Like, that's where we upload our audio to, SoundCloud. That may change at some point in the future.
And then with the SoundCloud, though, I haven't been able to figure out how to get it to go to the last show or the show before. It just goes into this funky music sound thing at the end, and what's up with that?
That's bizarre. I don't even know what you're talking about. I think that from when I use it, it just automatically plays whatever's next. Like, if you click what's on the top of the list on the SoundCloud, it'll just play forever. Just auto-firing the next show after the next show, supposedly.
Yeah. Well, see, that's it, and most of the time, like I said, when I'm listening to you, I'm driving down the road. So I can't sit there without pulling over to try to figure out what's going on, so that I can get to the next thing. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll sort this out. We'll check our things on our end, and we'll try to come up with a bit of a plan. Ricky, thank you very much, though, for calling in. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Love you guys, and, that's it's got me going on a few other podcasts now, but so I got to get more involved. I got to get back into bracket racing. It's been way too long. So
likewise, that's my plan. We're going to yank the engine out of the TA and go through the engine and refresh, and then get back out there. That's my plan for 2020. On the case.
Oh, that'd be good to see, Joe.
We're trying.
Get the old Pontiac back out of the garage.
That's it. All right, Ricky, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care.
A good one. WFO.
Wow, that was great. And, like that listener feedback, I really appreciate it. We got our Patreons and stuff, and they're getting the audio their own way, getting the NHRA interviews commercial-free and early access and all. But it's, in the end, it's the internet, right? It's like it's imperfect. Like, we upload our shows, and the internet disseminates them. And sometimes it goes smoothly, and most of the time it goes smoothly. But we wanted to make things easier and more palatable to people. And that's why we broke up the Nitro show.
Yeah.
And it's, the idea of sometimes that show would be 3 hours. And there were just so many people that just refused. I'm not going to listen to 3 hours. I don't care what's on there. I'm not doing that. And also, we had problems. I'll give you an example. If a Don Schumacher Racing driver won Top Fuel and a John Force Racing driver won Funny Car, and then I put out the show and wanting people to share the show and retweet the show. We always thought, I really think even to this day that there's a missed opportunity with people sharing the show. You would, if you're on the show, a show, not even this show, not even my show, any show. You're on a show, podcast, whatever. You'd think you'd want your supporters to listen to it. So you'd push it out there. And if it's a great interview, you'd push it out a couple of times. Man, did you see this? But a lot of times, teams that are in, rivals, if they're on it, but so is someone else that's their rival, they won't push it out there because, I don't want to push out something that's got my rival on it, and vice versa. And so separating them all.
That'll do it.
And also separating them all has given me the ability to see which drivers actually care about sharing their stuff. Because we have our audience, which is you guys, and you know about it, but we're always trying to grow. And who's helping us grow? The people who share, the people who push it out. Ron Capps. Every time. Ron Capps pushes it out there. Hey, I was on the show. It was a good show. It was a good interview. We had a good time. Pushes it out there. And by the way, Ron Capps has got like whatever he's got, 60,000 Twitter followers, and he retweets the show and shares it and gets like, 9 likes, 12 likes out of 80,000 people. You get 5 retweets, you get 10 retweets. So,
who
tough.
cares what 1,000 people you don't know on the face snap think?
Right. It's a very tough deal, but we'll work on it, Ricky. We're working on it. What I recommend is the SoundCloud app or Spotify. Even the Apple app. Apple app, a little onerous, man, a little clunky. The device works well. The interface with the app. Our app, great. I thought of eliminating the app between us all.
What?
Thought about it.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, the app has got a cost.
Yeah, well, obviously, everything has got a cost.
Right, it's got a cost. Like, how many people are on the WFO app? I think the push notifications make it worth it.
That does.
So,
look at that. We got a call on the push.
That's it.
That's how it works. We stay incommunicado.
I'm ready to take it to the house now. Here's the story I was telling you about earlier from planetf1.com. Honda nixes Alonso's Andretti Indy 500 plans from February 3rd. If Fernando Alonso returns to the Indianapolis 500 this year for a third attempt at the Indy 500, it won't be with Andretti Autosport, as Honda has reportedly said no.
Wowzers.
Last week, Spanish daily Diario AS reported that Alonso and Andretti Autosport were on the verge of announcing that the Spaniard would join the team for this year's Indy 500. According to the newspaper, Alonso would race the number 29, teaming up with Alex Rossi, Ryan Hunter-Ray, Brian Herta. Isn't that Colton Herta? And Marco Andretti. That, however, has been scuppered. Scuppered. I don't know what that means. Look that up. Scuppered by Andretti's engine-building partner, Honda. Racer Magazine is reporting that the deal was vetoed at the 11th hour by Honda, who are not yet ready to let go of Alonso's GP2 engine comment. Before the deal could be confirmed, Honda Performance Development needed final clearance from the big bosses in Japan. They told HRD not to proceed. Gio, do not proceed. That leaves Alonso with only Chevrolet as an option for the 2020 Indy bid, and those seats are limited. Top Chevy-powered teams, Team Penske, Ed Carpenter Racing, both have full cards, leaving only Arrow, McLaren SP, and Dreyer and Reinbold Racing, Dragon Speed, and Juncos Racing, and AJ Foyt Racing. Alonso only needs to win the Indy 500 to claim the Triple Crown. There you go. That's unfortunate. A little corporate revenge.
Well, don't badmouth your bosses.
And here's the other story. Alonso regrets GP2 engine outburst, but feels justified, for those that don't know about that. Fernando Alonso says he does regret the infamous GP2 engine comments regarding the Honda PU power unit, but insists it was a private conversation. It's safe to say that the grand reunion of McLaren and Honda in F1 2015 to 2017 was a flop due to poor reliability with lack of power. And at the 2015 Japanese Grand Prix, the frustration boiled over when Alonso accused Honda of designing a GP2 engine over team radio.
Oh, boy.
Oops.
That'll do it.
But by the way, they were terrible.
Yeah?
Two-time world champ. By the way, they got it figured out now, though. GP2, the two-time world champion, says he does regret that outburst now, but also believes his frustration was understandable. Yeah, it was. Bombing around out there in the back. I was talking to my engineer in a private conversation, which is not meant to be public. But the engine was very bad. First year in Jerez, in 4 days, we did 7 laps. Come on. I side with Alonso on this one. They're gaining revenge. Honda is holding a personal beef. Send Alonso out there, let him run the Indy 500, win the race. And then he'll say something good about you.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm not in the idea of, like, what is that? Not vengeance. Vendetta. What's the point of that? against it. So there's that. What's going on in the world of Haas F1 there, Giovanni?
They're getting ready for the season.
Yeah, I'm looking for cars to start debuting. That's when I start paying attention. When cars start debuting. Leclerc says, I need to control my killer instinct.
We'll see what the livery looks like this year.
Oh, Vettel, here's one. I like this. 6 years into the V6 era, and Sebastian Vettel admits he is still not impressed with today's power units. Back in 2014, Formula One switched to the 1.6-liter turbocharged V6 hybrid engines. With them came the complex MGU-K, which recovers kinetic energy created during braking and stores it in a battery. Liberty Media tried to do away with the MGU-K when drafting its 2021 engine regulations, but was met with opposition from the engine manufacturers. Personally, Vettel would be happy to see it fall away. He also wants to return to V12s. That's what I want to see. Ferrari driver said via Kolner Express, my first act would be to double the number of cylinders. I would remove the batteries. I think they are unnecessary except for a starter battery. Vettel, though, won't get his way as Formula One bosses have decided to stick with the current engine formula to 2025 or 26. F1 advisor Pat Simmons says they are hoping to revamp the engine rules by then, but admits Liberty Media have to get the teams on board. Well, I said that a long time ago. I want to see V10s, V12s, V8s, turbos, 6. I want to see them all. I want to just open it up. I don't think everybody should have to have the exact same engine. I'm ready for a new era in technology. Now, one thing that you cannot deny, I really believe, you remember, Max Mosley was the guy who championed this whole thing. And Max Mosley, this was during the big Great Recession, where it's funny how everybody forgets that we had this Great Recession and that the world economy was on the edge of a knife. And we were like seconds from losing General Motors and Ford and Chrysler. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, Ford wasn't going under, and that's not true. They were going under if Chrysler and General Motors went under.
They were not, but if the other two had gone, yes, they would have been forced to go
But the other two were going to go under. They would have gone under. Alan Mullally. He testified, and I watched, but it wasn't just them. It was the world economy, and Formula One was this. Everyone was like, "Oh man," and we got to get small, we got to get eco, we got to push the technology, and I even agree with that. We do. And what has happened in that time, in the wake of that? Well, you do have more battery cars, and you got Tesla is worth, the stock is up to $700, which I don't buy that for 1 second. I'm crying malarkey. I mean, I know the stock is worth $700. I see the ticker, but what was that stat the other day? Like they're worth General Motors, Chrysler, and Ford all combined?
More, yeah. Or something. Yeah, I don't know. Is that thing that I sent you that I'm like, well, I said that I don't believe that. How could it be worth more? It's that they're trading exponentially more over sales than people that actually are selling cars.
Right. Like they're going to make 500,000 deliveries, so they say, but it's the $700 a share? Are you kidding me? Someday all cars will be Tesla.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I'm skeptical. And I've seen the Tesla, and it does smart park. I've seen it. I've had a friend who, his Tesla drove out of the driveway all by itself. We were standing there watching it. It was neat. I drove in the Tesla, the electric, the power, the instant torque. Felt it. Get it. But now, Porsche, Ferrari, like everyone's coming out with electrics. I think it has a lot to do with what they learned with this Formula One. So I'm not against it. I just want performance. Let me tell you, the king of Fastlane Friday is the Tesla Model 3 dual motor. Bone stock, drives in, down the track, low 7-second eighth mile times. For those of you that know, that's like in the 11s. That's an 11-second quarter mile. It's insanity. They don't spin the tires. How do they not? I don't know. It just knows. Traction control. It just knows. But at the same time, I like to cause the engines to compete. If someone wants to bring back those V8 engines that they ran and run them against these, yeah, run them. and see where it all shakes out. All right, what else? We got anything else? Oh, I want to mention the coronavirus. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah.
The coronavirus. Dun, dun, dun. First of all, was that like a cough all of a sudden? He's like, it's scary. Scary. Coronavirus is scary. But desperate times call for desperate measures. You know, in the movies, first of all, like humanity, like getting taken out, like how are we going to get taken out? We're going to get taken out somehow. How are we going to get taken out? This is on my list of like the top ways that we get taken out. You know, asteroid, that could happen. This, like virus that we don't know how to cure and all of a sudden everybody's dead. Yeah, that could happen.
Except those people that it doesn't kill.
Right, like in World War Z, the zombies. Like some people are just
immune to whatever it is.
Immune to whatever it is. Well,
if you want to get rid of a disease, just give it to everyone. Some people will be naturally immune to it.
Exactly. Like Thanos, and that's it. Except the problem is that we don't want this to happen. It's terrible for people who have to suffer, and I'm against suffering. I believe in limiting suffering, like trying to do something, as opposed to just letting everybody just suffer.
Well, it's going to be a while before they come up with an antivirus or whatever.
Supposedly, but did you see about this hospital?
I guess it would be a vaccine.
Yeah, it's not an antivirus. It's a vaccine. It's both, maybe. China's
it's
first...
like the antivenom.
Right. China, you don't seem very afraid of it. I'm like, oh, boy.
You know what? I don't have any time to waste on this thing, dude.
It's not
like I have no concern for this.
Really?
If it comes and we die. What are we going to do to prevent it?
You're very laissez-faire.
You're going to go around with a little mask on?
Yeah, I'm about to get on a plane. I might put on that mask.
See, I'm
going west. I'm going closer to China.
Leaving. So until somebody comes and exposes it here, you know, hey, one of these Super Bowl crowds might have brought it in.
Exactly. But, and they don't know how it's you know, like you don't know that you've got it. You don't know that you've got the symptoms. It's like you get the symptoms. But anyway, that's not why I'm talking about it.
It's terrible, but I'm not, you know, there's nothing I could do. And I'm definitely not going to lose, you know, get any more stress or anxiety than what I already have in my life over some, you know, virus over some crappy beer.
The coronavirus. It took just 2 days for 500 workers to construct China's first dedicated coronavirus hospital in the Hubei province. 2 more are expected to open in Wuhan, ground zero for the outbreak, within days. China has opened its first coronavirus hospital after around 500 workers and volunteers spent just 48 hours converting an empty building. The medical building had been set up to open in May, but following the deadly outbreak, it was all hands on deck to get it completed. It now boasts 1,000 beds, and the first batch of coronavirus patients were transferred around 11:30 p.m. The hospital, called the Dabi Mountain Regional Medical Center, is in Honggang. It also has water, electric, and internet.
The Wuhan.
Right, the Wu-Tang. The Shaolin and the Wu-Tang. It is expected to relieve some of the pressure on doctors, etc. But anyway, so they built this hospital in 48 hours, and I had seen this story, but now, judging from actually reading the story, I'm less impressed. The building was already there. They just converted it.
Oh, yeah. What is that?
Desperate times, desperate measures. The Shaolin and the Wu-Tang.
The Wuhan.
The Wuhan.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's obviously no joking matter, but again, you know, like, it's terrible, and, you know, hopefully this is not what leads to the demise of the human race.
The opening scenes to Stephen King's Stand, that 3-night docu-whatever back in the day. Remember we used to have 3-night things? They were, what was it called? Remember The Visitors? Miniseries. Remember The Visitors?
Yeah, of course.
That was my favorite miniseries of all time. Like, ranked number 1, favorite miniseries. 1, The Visitors. I remember that vividly. Like, that really worked with me.
You mean you weren't big on, like, the Thornbirds or something like that?
Thornbirds. Oh, my God.
Remember that
I
crap?
hated the Thornbirds.
That crap used to come on every year. Like, didn't people get tired of watching it? Every year they used to have to make us sit through that.
Mom was watching the Thornbirds every year. I was like, the Thornbirds.
My mom used to sit and watch that crap, too. Jesus.
I don't even know what it was about.
Help me, Lord. I'm falling down the stairs.
At least there's something to take out of the color purple and other things. Well, that was a couple nights, too. But The Visitors, now that's something I could get behind. These alien ships come, and there's V, and there's that guy, Mousy. Mousy, and then, it went off the rails. No one can sustain anything.
Wasn't Freddy Krueger in that
Freddy
show?
Krueger.
Yeah,
he was the guy who ate the mouse.
Oh, I know which one was the big, though. This one was big. My mom used to make me watch this.
TV miniseries from the 1980s.
Yeah, North and South. Remember that?
No.
The Civil War. Patrick Swayze was in it.
I don't remember that one.
That's what I remember.
North and South. I mean, I missed that one.
That was like
I'm into the Civil War,
school
too.
War. Yeah? I don't know how you missed that one.
Lucky, I guess. I don't know.
But V was definitely the best.
That was the best. The Visitors.
That went on to become a regular series.
So I watched a movie the other day. Here's a movie review called The Darkest Hour.
Sounds familiar.
It's not the one about... England and being attacked by the Nazis. It's these students. They go to, I guess, to Moscow or to see the Northern Lights, right? And while they're there is this mysterious. Yeah, read it.
The fate of Western Europe hangs on Winston Churchill.
No, that's not it.
Not that one. Okay,
no, that's a different one.
Okay,
it's another Darkest Hour. Different Darkest Hour.
Okay, Darkest
It's about
Hour
aliens.
movie.
Just look for aliens.
Oh, aliens.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Darkest Hour, aliens.
I saw that Darkest Hour, Winston Churchill, and I thought it was fantastic.
Oh,
it's
Emil
just a different
Hirsch.
thing. Yes,
right.
yes.
Young entrepreneurs Sean, played by Emil Hirsch, and Ben, Max Minghella, meet stranded travelers Natalie and Anne at a hot Moscow nightclub. Their whole world changes in an instant when an alien attack devastates the city and everything goes dark. Joined by a Swedish businessman, played by Joel Kinnaman, the Utes emerge from hiding days later and must somehow fight back against a nearly invisible enemy that can find and disintegrate them at any moment.
Yeah.
Released December 23rd, 2011.
So I watched that. It was on the other day. An old movie review you're getting. It was all right.
HBO.
It kept my attention.
It's
yes,
on HBO on all of them all week long.
It was okay. Not great. It was okay. And
look here, this one. The Darkest Hour is hardly original at this point, and though many of its fellow alien invasion movies are terrible, this one has the advantage of being merely dull. That's a terrible review.
Yeah, well, it was okay.
All right. Anyway,
it was all right.
It's on HBO.
It wasn't the greatest
Darkest
movie.
Hour.
It wasn't the Irishman.
What have I been watching?
It wasn't the Irishman for any of you out there, which hopefully have seen the Irishman.
I watched some live sports. What have I been watching?
Kind of fish. Where'd you get it? Did you get it at the fish store?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Sounds like Forky.
You've been watching Forky. Did you see the commercial for Disney Plus?
I don't recall.
They're going to have all kinds of Avengers stuff. Like every Avenger is going to get their own show on Disney Plus.
It's not out already. I think that part.
No, they showed they're going to have the new Captain America.
Steve Rogers.
Yeah, but it's not Steve Rogers anymore. It's the black dude with the wings. That guy. The guy who took over the Shield. Yeah.
The rapper.
No,
I know.
What is that? Some sort of stereotype?
Whoa!
What are you doing?
I don't do that.
Yeah, obviously you just did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's that guy's name? Raven? No.
Eagle Man.
Eagle Man?
Green Lantern.
No.
Hawkeye.
No, not him. I got it. Don't worry. I'm doing a search. There we are. Falcon.
So what's the difference? Falcon, Eagle?
Yeah, Eagle, because his name's Falcon. He's the guy that's got there's War Machine and there's Falcon. He's the one who got the shield. But anyway, they're gonna do everything. They're gonna have hundreds of shows, Disney Plus. It's gonna be incredible.
The kid made me sit through Lion King, the new one, the live action one.
Yeah, was it great?
Yeah, it's kind of like the last one. Simba, Stampede, Dad dies.
Oh, so it's literally the same.
Yeah, it's just like the lions are more real.
That was a big deal when it came out. Big deal. All right, I'm pretty much ready to go. Want to include everybody in the Fantasy League. Want you guys to play in the Fantasy League and have a good time in the Fantasy League. The password again is, you go to drivergroupgame.com and put in, when you sign up, obviously, create your login, and then you search for our league name, which is WFO Radio 2019. And then the password is capital W, capital F, capital letter O, 2019. And you should be able to get in there. Please let us know. Joe at WFOradio.com if this is not working. But other than that, everybody should be in the league. You should be in the league and ready to rock and roll. This weekend, we've got the Lucas Oil Winter Nationals. If you're coming to the race, definitely tweet at me. Let me know, and maybe we'll do a meetup of some sort. I want to do more WFO meetups this year. I'm very excited. Got a lot of responsibilities, but I'm definitely always going to have to make time for the WFO universe. It's going to be great. Formula One team's still going to roll out their stuff. Got the Busch Clash this weekend. NASCAR is back. Remember, Homestead Miami Speedway's Dixie Vodka 400 is now in March. So right around the corner, we got NASCAR, baby. Right around the corner. Going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Gio, the next time we meet, we're going to have actual racing results to speak of. So we have successfully killed another off-season.
Look at that. Wow, it's unbelievable.
What was the prevailing topic of this year? Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question. Like, if I had to say what was the one overbearing topic.
Yeah. I don't think there was one. I think it was just
no. I know in previous
stream
offseason
of consciousness.
We've been hiding from the Boston Dynamic robots, which, by the way, every time I go to their website and see what some new thing they're tinkering with, the robots is doing like gymnastics and handstands now.
Yeah, it's
like really like I gotta tell you, what's wrong with those people over there? Like. You work there, and I know you guys are so, happy, and you think you're doing a good thing, but you realize that you're not, right? Like, you do realize that.
That's not even what's going to get us. That's not it. It's the artificial intelligence that's going to get us.
It's smarter than us.
They're all telling us, Elon Musk, they're all telling us, don't do it. But what do you do? Like, what's the answer? Ban technology? Become Amish? Do what the Amish do?
Yeah, the horse.
Really, like what is the answer? Like the technology is going to start spinning out of control. They got these deep fakes now. They can make videos of people saying things that they didn't say, and you confuse people. Like, we got problems, man. The technology is going to be crazy. Tony Stewart not having the children, me not having the children. There are times where I get very sad about not having the children. Like, maybe I should have had kids. And then there are times where I'm like, no, man, I don't want the kid to be in this dystopian post-apocalyptic world fighting against the machines and the artificial intelligence. Like, I don't want him to have to do that. Like, what are we going to do, man? What are we going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll be dead and buried.
No, he's right. You leave your poor kid, you send him out there to fight, and you're like, I'm dead and buried. I don't care, kid. Go fight the machines. Good luck.
It. I'm leaving him, a nice piece of land and
some
some
stuff. Machines are going to come.
Nobody left me any of that stuff.
They're going to use artificial intelligence.
He's going to be better off than I
brain.
was, and so he already is. This kid lives like the lap of luxury, nothing of which I had when I was a child. Let's just start with this advancements in technology that we never had.
Technology is amazing.
So, yeah,
there's no excuse
They
to not
get to
know
live.
anything.
We're going to be dust in the wind and forget about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
They'll be slaves to the robot overlords.
Well, I posted some photographs on my Facebook page.
Not interested.
It's already about my photos. You're not interested?
Well, about your,
what? Just anything.
The robot overlords.
Whatever it was. Whatever it was. No, it's more about just the addiction to the devices and how they're just totally changing the human interaction.
Right.
How nobody, you don't interact with strangers really anymore. You connect on your device, and that's it. And the young people, they're just focused on the devices. Even Ricky, he's focused on his device, Ricky. You're right, the device. Hey, Siri, play WFO Radio. Hey, Google, subscribe to WFO Radio. Hey, Alexa, subscribe to the WFO Radio podcast on Spotify. Do you think that got anybody to subscribe? I think it might have.
Yeah.
I was going to do that on NHRA TV just to confuse everybody's personal assistant. That was a good Super Bowl commercial. The Ellen DeGeneres, like, what did people do before the personal assistants? And it showed, like, back in the day, like everybody acting as a personal assistant for another person. Basically, servitude.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Now we all have our own personal servitude. The Alexa can boss her around. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Thank you very much for participating with our show. I felt like this one was okay. I don't know, in the planning stages, it was going to be better.
All okay.
It was going to be better. But, we're getting ready for the Winter Nationals. We're getting ready for NHRA Nitro. Got Sean Langdon, got Fernando Quadra, we got Alan Reinhardt, going to get J.R. Todd. Maybe somebody else, Frank Aragona, the champ, going to be out there. It's going to be great. Then I head out on Thursday. I arrive midday on Thursday, and it's go time, baby. Winter Nationals, drag racing, 22,000 horsepower on the starting line, 330 miles per hour testing runs. In the 360s in Vegas, it's outrageous. Everybody wear your gear this week. Wear your NHRA gear. And hey, remember, if you're willing to spend a stamp, 2 stamps actually, I can send you some WFO radio stickers, the new round WFO radio stickers. Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida 33084. If you came down to the Super Bowl here in the MIA, thank you so much for dropping off your money. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say before it's over?
No, here we are on the dawn of a new season, and it's
new era.
Yeah, I'm excited, ready to have some fun and see some drag racing this weekend, some NASCAR going roundy round and getting the qualifying going, and just overall positive visions in 2020.
Exactly, positive visions. 2020. I'm excited.
And it was, you know what? We participated in winter these last few days with all the out-of-towners here.
Listen, the music's playing. Don't try to do this show now, man.
We tried to give them the best weather. No, I'm just saying that, we participated with the out-of-towners, and that's it. They're gone. Winter's gone, and we're ready to get on with life.
Time to get on with life. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. See you next time. WFO.
WFO!